Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I am Z Garcia. Hello, everybody.
Welcome to Board Game Breakfast Live. Now, if you are just joining us, and you've been in somewhat of a coma for the past several months, you might notice
Welcome
that
back, for one thing. Jeez.
Congratulations.
Comas.
What's
the deal
it's
with
like
that?
it's like the first episode of Walking Dead, right?
Put some clothes on. And
you wake up,
to
you're
Board
like,
Game Breakfast.
let's go outside. And you're like, no. But anyway, if you're watching, what I mean by all this is the fact that we are streaming this from 3 different locations. And so internet has been wonky all over the place. So keep that in mind. That may affect this here. But we're going to keep going as long as we possibly can. All righty. So with that being said, welcome to Board Game Breakfast. We are working on our backer kit for the Dice Tower. That should be live soon. There's just so many details you would not believe how much stuff goes on behind the scenes Kenny's been working on. Also, as a side note, happy birthday to Kenny. That was yesterday.
Yeah. Getting so old.
He called me from the studio, and he was like, yep, it's my birthday. I'm by myself. I was like, oh, man, I felt so bad.
I know. Gosh.
So, what do you do? But anyhow, yeah, things are going well. We're putting up lots of different content that we have. Don't forget it. We have a live chat every night at 9 p.m. And so another one of those goes up tonight and consistent. We're going to keep trying to do this stuff for you, including this. So we're going to get started, as always, with the news. I am very excited about the news, or some of the news this week, the first 2 pieces especially. So the first one, I am not normally a fan of this slap pop culture on a game, but in this case, I'm pretty pumped about it, and that's the op is making Smash Up Marvel. And so we knew that they were going to do licensed versions of Smash Up. This had been announced, and I assumed Marvel would be hopefully one of them, and I still think we'll see Star Wars and Harry Potter too. Mm-hmm. So this one is an 8-faction, 8 different factions. We know that 2 of them are Hydra and the Ultimates. Ms. Marvel. So I don't know. I'm kind of pumped about this. I like the idea of this, even if you don't like the idea of mixing this with the original Smash Up. So. Sorry, folks. If my audio is off, is it off for people who are watching? Can you hear me? Because I'm seeing the comments, but I'm not thinking.
I can hear you just fine, Tom. I can take over if you want, if folks can hear me.
Yeah. All right, folks, if you're wondering what's going on, we're talking about things in the background. So you know what? Let's just talk about the news without showing the pictures right now. Anyhow, so Smash Up Marvel is what we're talking about here, and I'm really pumped about this.
That looks good.
Again, I realize that this is essentially just an IP slapped on a game, but I like Smash Up already, and I don't mind having things like Ghost and. I'll play Ghost Hydra or Russian riding bears Hydra. What other factions do you think will be in it? Avengers for sure, right?
Okay, so Avengers, I don't know. You think that's not too big to be a single faction? You don't think
they'll do Hydra and Ultimates? They'll do Shield, right?
Shield,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
they have Hydra, they'll have Shield. It depends on what IPs they have. Like to me, Fantastic Four would make sense, but I don't know. If that's like part of this whole, are you allowed to? This whole Marvel thing is super weird to me because I know now that they can use X-Men and Fantastic Four, but nobody has.
Yeah, I don't know what the legality is with that. I don't know. Yeah, that'd be great if they had an X-Men faction, a Fantastic Four, but maybe they want to segment it a little more. Like I could see them having like a Wakanda faction instead of just Avengers. That covers so much. So I don't know. I am curious to see this. This might actually be the one that gets me to jump back into Smash Up. I used to mess with it a decent amount, but the amount of expansions actually pushed me out. It's just too much. I feel like I can never keep up. So
Sure,
it's
but
reset button for me.
the one thing I like about Smash Up is that you can grab any two factions when you're playing, and it's not like you have to sit there and go, I don't understand how this one works. I mean, there's some ones that are weirder than others, but they're all still fairly basic.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
All right, so from Board and Dice, David Tercey has announced a game, Tawantinsuyu. This is from the same folks who made Tutahuacan. I cannot pronounce that.
These guys hate you, Tom. All right.
Yes,
so,
but no. It's Tawantinsuyu. I know this because they sent me the pronunciation in the email, and I practiced it.
yes, that's fine. It's Tawantinsuyu. Yes. I put the accent on Su more than Tawan.
Well,
Tawantinsuyu is the follow-up to Teotihuacan. Yes.
No, they sent me the pronunciation, and there's two accented things, Juan and Sue.
Yeah. You got it, man. You're a beast. You're on top of it.
Whatever. It's close enough.
I would stick to just talking about games you can pronounce, like Splendor, Lost, Cities. But hey, you do.
I did notice that everywhere they announced this, there was usually some comment, every spot, like, are you guys just messing with Tom at this point? But even that, so the opening paragraph, the great Sapa Inca Pachacuti called on his offspring to worship Inti, the sun god, and expand the Incan empire as far as the Lamas roam with Chinchansuyu, Antasuyu, Kualasuyu, and shut up and stop using words I can't pronounce, even though it's historically accurate.
That's great.
People are really getting pumped about this one. Looks like a pretty much strong sequel to the last game, and it's coming out at Essen, so later on this year.
Cool. Yeah. Looks nice. Good cover.
Asmodee apparently has some stock in ink cartridges because they have made free print and play downloadable board games, which is great, except one of them's Dixit. I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dixit out. I would go online and find the game. I can't imagine that would be. It's cheaper to download it and print it out. Do you get that?
No way. There's no way. No way. No. Unless you're printing, unless the what they're making available is like a 10-card pack
for Dixit.
But then you can't play it. It's like a one ride. It'll be 6 minutes while everybody, set up included. No, I don't know. It's impossible to print this out. I mean, maybe you could make the cards really tiny. I don't know. I was very baffled when I saw that one of the options was Dixit.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Almost all the options are like that. So they got Spotted, which is cards where you flip them over really fast and try to grab and, see something that's on cards twice. Yeah. Dixit, Timeline, which has a lot of cards. Unlock, which has a decent amount of cards. And I don't know that I would want to print out Unlock because it would be hard to cut the stuff out without looking at it.
Yes.
You're like, here, give it to someone else. Could you put this together for me?
Yeah.
You can't play, but that's actually what Unlock tells you to do now. Like if it ever says, if you drop all the cards, find someone who's not playing and have them sort them out for you.
Yes, right.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think this is cool that Asmodee is doing this, and I don't think they're being weird about it. I don't think there's anything strange about it. It's just that the games that they're picking here seem like you're better off, unless they're out of print and extremely expensive. Ink is not cheap.
Right.
And I can't imagine going to effort to print out Dixit.
I think it's very nice that not just Asmodee, but a bunch of companies are making some of their content available online for free. So kudos to really all these companies for doing that. But yes, you better have a lot of ink.
All right. Fantasy Flight has announced the Rise of Red Skull expansion for Marvel Champions, the card game. So this is a whole ton of new content here. Hawkeye and Spider-Woman are joining. There's 5 new villains. I guess there's more villains than there is heroes in this one. Crossbones, Absorbing Man, Taskmaster, Zola, and Red Skull. So that's kind of cool.
I have no idea who Absorbing Man is, but pretty neat.
All right, so Absorbing Man, you might have seen him in the comics. He has a chain with a ball on the end of it, like the thing that a prisoner back in 1920 might wear, and he spins it around his head and hits people with it. It is, but if he touches you, he can become the same material that you are.
So human, like flesh and bones? What does that mean?
Well, no, he can touch a wall and then turn into, and he's brick. Or and he fights Colossus, he'll touch his skin and he's the same steel as Colossus. And in fact, one time they beat him because they threw him in water. So, and
all right, Absorbing.
Yeah, he's actually a pretty reoccurring character for the past 30, 40 years or whatever.
All right. This looks great. I love the look and I love the cover. I love the fact that they're already putting out a big box expansion for this. I like the variety of content that they've been able to put out for this. I think it's really cool, very impressive, right? They have the core game, but then they put out hero packs and baddies packs, and they just the line has a lot of different kinds of content you can get for it, and this is yet another thing. So very cool.
And this is pretty good, especially now. I mean, this is the kind of game that people can play now. You can play this solitaire. It's easy to play with people online, and so someone just said, "Aren't you bored of superhero stuff yet?" Nope. All right. Let's see here. Mayday Games has switched to selling NK94 masks. This is just in the slot of good news. They're not too expensive either. I went and looked at them up. So they took their company and they just stopped making board games and they're starting making these masks right now.
Okay.
So that's cool. As soon as I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go buy some. And I went and they were already sold out. But they said like if you come back Friday, there'd be more or something to that effect.
Huh. Wow. That's neat. I like that. Good on them.
New expansion for Spirit Island, Jagged Earth, is coming. So 10 new spirits, 2 new adversaries, 2 new island boards, 30 new event cards, all kinds of new stuff being added to this. This is a ton of content for a game that already has a ton of content. So if you like Spirit Island, you are really loaded up for bear in this one, I think.
Woo. That's a terrible looking cover, unfortunately. I'm looking through the slides here, and the cover for Spirit Island, Jagged Earth, is not inspiring me. It's not a very good looking cover, but that is a lot of content. Anyway, go ahead. What's next?
I don't hate the cover, but all right. Gugong Panjun. This is an expansion for Gugong. This is one of those games that is a slow burn, I think. Remember, I had pointed out that this was one of the most played games at Dice Tower West, which was kind of surprising. But now there's 4 new modules. That's how these Euro game expansions usually work. Summer Palace, Peasants Revolt, Palace Stairs, and Extra Decrees and Gift Cards, which is my favorite kind of module where you just add more stuff.
Yeah.
All right, there's another expansion coming for Too Many Bones, Splice and Dice. So this is you can create tyrants using baddies and add-ons. Build a tyrant there. There's a tyrant creation system, which I believe I've never said before.
Tyrant creation system. That's good stuff. This is another game that has tons of content already that they're adding more content to. I've seen those boxes of Too Many Bones, and they're not kidding around. That's a lot of stuff.
This is going to be one of those games that I think you should probably check out at some point because you can play it solo or with 2 people.
Yeah.
It might work for you.
Yeah.
Then there's Pursuit of Happiness Experiences. Didn't this come out already? I'm getting confused with Pursuit of Happiness. Didn't this come out at Essen, or was that a different?
I thought this was out at Essen. I thought so too. Yeah, but maybe not. Maybe it's just a cover that looks like one of the ones we saw.
Anyway, there's all different experiences you can have that you want to go through life and get. Although I would say a majority of these experiences are very fantasy oriented at this point in time.
Yes.
All right. Love Letter. This was an April Fool's joke that's real. One of these. So you can get a free print and play version of Love Letter called Love Letter Sender. where the original characters have to go and do online dating.
Mm-hmm.
There are the fish guys who might not be catches themselves. Is that just?
I don't get every one of these, so
I don't either. So dog picture, puppy love, fish guys. I'm assuming that means that you've been fished online. I don't know. Anyway, it's a modern love letter, and you can print and play it. So
yeah, so we've got somebody who's ghosting somebody called the Ghost, and there's someone catfishing, and then hashtag no
fishing.
filter. But there is one called Fish Guy. I don't get that one, but I'm also old. There's a group photo, puppy love. The guy who's it's not his dog, but he's posing with a dog online to try to get people to click on his profile. That's the joke. It's a modern twist on the same thing. Yeah.
All righty. Well, that's the news. Actually, there wasn't a lot of news, but there was some pretty cool news in there. So looking forward to seeing more news. Let's jump to it right now.
Hello gamers. I'm still delivering Kickstarters for you guys. Okay, so I have so many exciting Kickstarters to talk to you guys about. I don't know. My wallet it's like $1. That's it. That's all I'm going to have left after this month between trips and Kickstarters, guys. So I feel you. But let's see what you can spend your money on. Featured this week, we have Frosthaven by Celio Fair Games, which calls upon 1 to 4 shady-looking adventurers to roam the countryside looking for trouble for 30 minutes per player in this all-new installment of the Gloomhaven universe. However, this time, we'll get a chance to build a village, expanding buildings for game bonuses, investigating puzzles, and watching the game change along with the seasons in this dungeon crawl that starts at $100. Next up is For Science by Grey Fox Games that takes 1 to 6 researchers and tasks them to cooperatively find a cure for about 15 minutes, as players will start by developing a theoretic cure and then build that strain, successfully balancing the correct blocks on top of each other, all to collect tiles to build the perfect cure. So this antidote for boredom starts at $49. And lastly, we have 3 little mini games, GPS, Sequoia, and Mountain Goats, by BoardGameTables.com, each varying in complexity as GPS relies on a spinner to help you get your satellites in order, while Sequoia gives you a bit of gambling and area control as players try to outbid each other to win. And then there's those rascally mountain goats trying to get to the top to bump others off in this dice placement game that relies on strategic movement. These tiny games starts at $15. Thanks so much for joining me this week, guys. If you want to know more about any of the Kickstarters that you saw here today, then join me at gloryhound.com as we will talk about all of these Kickstarters in depth, if we would back them or not. It is a live show, so you guys get to comment and tell me what you guys think about these Kickstarters. Other than that, I will see you guys all next week.
This is the problem with Worthington Publishing. Today I'm in the mood for, I think, a battle of the Civil War. Which one, pa? I'm gonna go early Civil War, 2-day battle. Shiloh. Sure. Nice. Nah, let's go a bit later, around September. Okay. But what would it be like to be in Lincoln's mind? Oh, come on. No, I think I want a bird's eye view of the whole Civil War. Now let's talk about the first game. Shiloh, the one I mentioned. Hey, this is a 2-player game, can fantastically be played solo. It's like reading a book. You open up the game, 8 pages of rules, 8 pages, sets up in minutes, and you're ready to go. Relive the battle, see if you can change history. This is a game like, I don't know if I want to play war games, there might be difficult long rule books, and, maybe I should try a little game. And when I said 8 pages of rules, well, the last page are charts. The second to last pages are historical notes, what ifs, and designers' notes. And the fourth page are your counters. So basically, 4 pages of rules. So what you get with this game is a beautiful mounted 8-panel map, and you're going to see a lot of trees because Shiloh in Tennessee was very wooded. And here we're going to talk about terrain modifiers. There's a river up north with a bridge over it. That's the only way cavalry and everybody can go over that road is through that bridge. You're going to see a lot of different color woods, some darker, some lighter, and that tells you that there's different elevation. Elevation? What do you mean elevation? You know mountains are not the same height. If you're at the top of one mountain, you got a better shot than the guy at the bottom of the mountain, right? So you got to use dice modifiers. It's natural. And all that information is written right on the map, so you don't even have to flip the rule book. Remember, 4 pages of rules, eh? Combat is super easy, right? You initiate combat, well, they see it coming because you're charging them, so guess what happens? They shoot first! You get 2 numbers. That 14, that's the turn you come in. The 18, that's your strength point. So basically you go to the 18 row of the CRT and you roll a 5. That's your result. I'm here to bring you easy war games. Worthington Publishing does just that. Makes you get into a game, and if you want to get a little bit more complex, you go on and get more complex. If you don't, you don't. But at least you played a war game and you learned something about history. I'll see you next week.
All right, it's time for our game show.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right, folks. So this is our game show we're going to be doing for the foreseeable future, where it's Z versus you all. And I'm going to ask numerical questions, and I'm going to pick 4 of you to give a response to me.
Okay.
And then those 4 will always be next to each other. I'll randomly pick one, then pick the next 3 answers after that. And then Z will give an answer.
Yes.
And if Z is closer than all 4 of you, Z gets 5 points.
Yes.
If he's closer than 3 of you, he gets 3 points. If he's closer than 2 of you, no one gets points. If 3 of you are closer, you get 3 points. And if all 4 of you are closer, you get 5 points. Maybe a mathematician can tell me if I've weighted this towards Z. I'm not sure. So we've been kind of on a theme here of things to do while you're at home. Mm-hmm. So today we're talking about reading.
Oh, no, a reading question.
Oh, man, I've been reading a ton, actually. I've been reading about equal amounts. I've been reading a lot of comic books, but I've also been reading just a lot of books. Just so much time to read right now. So anyhow, I got 7 questions here about reading. Okay. And last time Z whooped y'all. So here we go. This is in 2019. There were many books that were popular. Do you know the most popular best-selling print book in the United States? What it was called?
In 2019?
Yes.
Oof. Jeez. I don't know.
You would not know. All right. Anyway, it's Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens.
Okay.
And my question is, how many copies of it sold? Unit sales. This is best-selling print books, by the way, is what this is from. In 2019, Where the Crawdads Sing, and I want to know how many copies of that sold in 2019. Okay. Where the Crawdads Sing. I went and read the plot of the book, and it's kind of like a murder romance, one of those type of things. Historical fiction.
So To Kill a Mockingbird-ish?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not 100% sure.
How many copies
Someone
sold
said
in 1 year?
One of the viewers said no one read in 2019. Alrighty. And we got some answers. So let me spin my dial here. And we'll stop there. All right, I got my answers from the audience. Z, it's your turn.
All right, I'm going to say that they sold 260,000 copies.
260,000 copies. So this is what our viewers said. 379,000 copies, 4.5 million, 1.5 million, and 2.8 million.
All right.
How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
And the answer is 1,845,520.
A lot.
Which, if I've done my math correctly, means all 4 answers were closer than Z's. So that is 5 points for the people right out the gate.
Those are big numbers to be putting up for a book in 1 year.
Well, that is the biggest by far. The second was a big drop, was only 1.1 million, and that's Becoming by Michelle Obama. And then 1 million for Dog Man, For Whom the Ball Rolls, which is a funny. Then Educated, a memoir, only made 880,000. So only 3 books sold over 1 million.
Okay.
So, Alrighty. Some of these book names are cracking me up, though. Dog Man, Brawl of the Wild. Girl, Wash Your Face. Girl, Stop Apologizing. And Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid. That must be the
Diary of a Wimpy Kid spinoff, yeah.
All right, another thing that people read or used to read very often is
words.
The newspaper.
Oh.
What's one of the most famous newspapers in the world? That would be
New York Times.
That is correct. So I want to know how many subscriptions that are happening in the New York Times, and I want to say this was when did this article written? It was written in February 2020, and so I want to know how many subscriptions people have to the New York Times, but this includes digital-only customers.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's right.
It really wouldn't have mattered. I'm just stabbing in the dark here. Either way,
I will say this: the digital-only numbers far outweighs the
print number.
The print numbers, and they actually said their subscriptions have gone up. So,
wow. Okay, I'll try to take a stab at it. Let me do some quick math here. 6. Yeah. Okay. I'm ready.
Hang on. I'm trying to read. All right, I got them here. I'm trying to read this one. If you don't put commas, it makes it harder for me. All right, so go ahead. What's your guess?
My guess is going to be 11.6 million subscribers.
All right, 11.6 million, says Z. Our audience guesses are 10 million, 9 million, 12.5 million, and 8.6 million.
That's pretty good, baby. I'm right in there.
You are. The actual answer is 5,251,000.
Ugh.
Of that number, 3.5 million are digital only.
Okay.
Which means everyone but one person was closer than Z, which gives the people another 3 points.
I'm losing. What's happening?
You can't read is what's happening. All right. So some people in the chat complained that we were talking about modern books. So let's go back to a classic book. One of my favorite books as a child was written by Jules Verne. And this is his most famous book, I'm sure, and that's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I was trying to pick a book that Z did not use in one of his previous 10 for 10 things, because you actually asked about word count, I remember. So my question is, how many words are in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Oof.
At least the version that I'm looking at here, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I'll even give everyone a clue. Has 238 pages.
All right.
So this is a story about fictional Captain Nemo in a submarine as seen by one of its passengers, Professor Pierre Aronnax. Is that how you say it? Aronnax? I don't remember. They just called him the professor, I think. He was actually the person who narrated the book, so they didn't use his name a lot. So I like this book, although I tend to, with these novels from these older people like Jules Verne and things like that, I tend to read the slightly abridged versions. Some of these guys wrote a lot.
Yeah, it depends who the writer was. I think Jules Verne is fine. H.G. Wells was fine, but full text of Moby Dick is monstrous.
It is. All right, I got my 4 from the audience here.
All right, I'm doing some quick math here.
Down. All right. Anyone ever gets one of these exactly, you will get a bonus of 20 points. But you would have to be right on the nose.
Oh, sorry, you're off by 12 words. Nothing.
We'll also send you a free game in the mail. Of course, if I say stuff like that, then people will be tempted to cheat. So I won't.
Somebody will Google it. Don't do it. Yeah. All right. Here's my guess, Tom. I'm gonna go with 107,100 words. 107.
100.
Yes.
All right. So the audience said 220,000, 27,500, 80,000, and 783,564, which is almost a million word book. Not quite. The actual count is 99,035.
Pretty
which
close,
makes
baby.
Z
My math was
closer
good.
than all four of you. Z now has 5 points. It's a game again.
Woo! You shouldn't have given me that page count, sucker.
This is where, don't forget, Roy, you can press a sound effect of applause at this point, but there's no need. It's just Z. All righty. So let's go back to modern books here.
Okay.
So let's talk about a prolific author.
Stephen King.
Well, I was going to get some clues, but yes, it's Stephen King. So you disgust me. Are you looking at my screen?
No, you said prolific author, modern. He's the biggest.
I almost picked John Grisham, but all right, I picked Stephen King instead. All right.
Sweet. All right, what do you got?
How many novels has he published? Including the ones that were published under his pen name, which is what?
Richard Bachman.
Richard Bachman. And he also wrote some nonfiction books. And he's written a lot of short stories, which are in book collections, but I'm not including those. Just his novels.
Okay. Oof. As of right now, gosh, I have no idea. I have no idea, Thomas. The man is a writing machine.
This is... People are calling you a cheater. How did he cheat? Because he used math? Math is legit.
Yeah, I just I estimated
Stephen King book.
My favorite Stephen King book is trying to think. Probably my favorite is one of the Dark Tower books. The third one, I think, is called The Drawing of the Three. And that's probably my favorite, but you're missing a lot of context there if you haven't read the rest of them. And honestly, that series kind of let me down. I think it really lost its way, that 7-book anthology. But that one book was the most exciting to read. I think it's very cool, that book. Other than that, like standalone ones, I don't know. There's a lot of neat ones, like Needful Things is a really old one.
Gibbering, pick your number.
I'm going to go with 53.
53. All right. Our audience numbers, I picked randomly here, are 72, 84, 74, and 68.
Mm-hmm.
And the actual number is 63.
Oof.
Which, unfortunately, since they said 68, they were closer, and 72 was 9 away. 53 is 10 away. Therefore, you beat 2 people, but not all 4. Therefore, no one gets any points.
All right. I feel good about that.
All right. So speaking of Stephen King, he's done a lot of. There's not many board games based on his books, but I want to jump into board games here.
Are there any?
Well, no. Just recently, The Shining came out. Brian Drake reviewed it on our show, The Shining. So I want to know at this point in time, and I'm just going to refresh. Don't look this up, cheaters. How many people have rated The Shining from 2020? How many people on Board Game Geek?
Got it.
Probably one of them is Brian Drake. But it could be 0. 0's legit.
I mean, is that game out? Do we know that? Is that part of the information we're not supposed to know?
I don't know. I think it was out. I think you could find it in the in Target when people could go. Is Target still open? I guess it is.
I don't know.
Like, can you go to Target and buy games?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Roy says
Roy.
yes.
Is anyone doing that? Like, I don't know.
I hope not. Stay
I
home.
Think I think you're just supposed to go in there and get food, and that's it. Or other things you need. But like, what if you're walking on the way to get something you need and you see a game?
Then sure, fine, buy it. Yeah,
I don't know. We're not really close to a target here, so.
No.
All right.
Okay, I got my answer.
All right, let me write these down from our audience. These are wildly all over the place. All right. What's your answer?
47.
47. Well, weirdly enough, that is one of the responses from one of the listeners. I have 332,
Okay.
47,
Okay.
19, and 342.
Okay, then I'm going to say 48.
No, you can't change. All right, no, I'll let you change. 48.
No.
No. You said 48, and that's legit. We'll let you go up or down one.
Oh, come on. Oh, no. Then I'll go down 46.
No, too late because you have too much information based on what I said there.
Okay,
So the
47
answer
again.
is 26,
Yeah.
which means 19 and 47 are both closer than you. 332.
I said 47. How could it be closer? That's not how math works.
Because I let you go up or down one, and you picked up first before you changed your mind.
I was
So
joking.
again, no points. There's no joking in my games.
This game is so serious.
Games are not meant to be fun, sir.
All right. How am I doing? Am I still losing by like 3 points?
Yeah, it's still close. We got 2 questions left. Here we go. First one. Sticking with the board game theme, let's pick what's another famous author who does have a lot of books based on their works?
That would be,
Huh?
I'm
I'm
going to go with the guy who wrote Pillars of the Earth, whose name is Ken Fall or something. I don't know his name.
Yeah, because they put it on the cover. But no, I'm actually thinking of J.K. Rowling's.
Okay,
and
sure.
There's a ton of Harry Potter games. So there's a lot of Harry Potter games on Board Game Geek. Not a ton, I guess, but there's enough. The highest ranked one is Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle.
Yes.
Right? It's a deck building game. What is its Board Game Geek ranking?
Okay, like the number it's ranked at, like
Right, so it's not ranked number 1, obviously, but what ranking is it? It is high enough to be ranked. There's like 18,000 different numbers. Ken Follett is the guy's name. Oh yeah, someone mentioned H.P. Lovecraft. That's true. There's a lot of games based on his works too.
Yeah. Okay, what's the ranking? Interesting. I think it's pretty high, probably. I think that game is quite well liked, and it's been out years. I remember when that game was at Gen Con, there was actual buzz about it, like decent buzz about it. A lot of people were booking it to go buy it. There was a lot of folks being quite impressed by it.
I enjoyed it. So
yeah, okay. So I'm thinking enough people like the theme.
I got people's answers here, so you can go whenever you want.
Oh man, it's got to be pretty high. I'm gonna say 220.
220. Well, interestingly enough, the people's choices are 169, 6, 256, and 438.
Okay.
Now, 438 is close to the ranking of Harry Potter Wizard Chess, which is 440, but that's not true. That's just another name for chess, and chess is at 440.
Okay.
But Harry Potter's Hogwarts Battle is 281.
Feel pretty good about this.
Means you are closer than 3 of the people.
Yes.
Which gives Z 3 points, which makes the score, I believe, 6 to... what? I don't actually know what the score is.
We're tied, 8-8.
It's 8-8. That makes this the final question. Hopefully. Unless it's a tie. So we're talking about bookstores. So this data is from, I want to say 2018 or 2019. I'm not sure which year. It doesn't matter too much. But an average local independent bookstore, so we're not talking about Barnes & Nobles or big chain bookstores, but a local small bookstore, like the kind you just see on the street, you walk in, they're selling books. How much revenue do they make average per day? So like a local store, how much worth of books do they sell a day? This is a local bookstore where you walk in and you look at the books and buy a book or so.
A crazy question. Are we talking like U.S. statistics here? What is this?
Sure. This is like a small independent bookstore. Like, how much money do they make on average per day? There's not many of these things. There's not many of these in existence right now.
I know, but you're thinking like depending on the city, their rent is different. And depending on their demographic, their foot traffic.
No. I'm not talking about all that. Well, right. I know the foot traffic's different. The rent has nothing to do with it. I'm talking about their revenue. If you add it together.
Rent matters because if they make the same average as another place, they go out of business. So, oh my goodness, this is too much. I need to go back to school, Tom. I need to go get that degree. Why? Why did I ever get an acting degree?
I'm not talking about. Stupid. I'm not. Goodness. I'm not talking about.
I got you. How much they make a day? Pennies.
Yeah.
It has to be pennies.
All right, well, go ahead.
Can I say they lose money every day? All right.
Go ahead. Give me your answer. I got the answers from the people.
I'm going to say they make on average a day $182.
$182. All right. So the peoples have 1,000, 2,350, 253, and 800. Now, this is what blew my mind here. So the average local bookstore has 10 average daily transactions with an average purchase price of around $59.60. But the average sales revenue is $617, which means 3 people were closer than you, Z. Which gives 3 points to the audience. I didn't realize that there was that few sales at a bookstore.
Well, that's why I lowballed it. I figured it was not high. I've been to a few of these bookstores. They just they must pay very little rent because I've been in some of them and it's just a person sitting behind a counter just kind of whittling away time usually. I figured they're just kind of doing it to do it. They're not necessarily getting rich off of this. It seems to me. Maybe just the ones I've been to aren't great. I figured it was going to be low. Yeah.
So it's interesting enough that the days of the week that people shop at them, the number one day is Friday, but then it's Wednesday, then Tuesday, then Thursday, then Monday, then Saturday, then Sunday. But that's
so
probably
the weekends are the last 2 days people go into bookstores.
I guess. And also, it's interesting. You average this out. They make about $4,300 in revenue a week and 73 transactions. That's not a lot.
I guess when people go in there and buy books, they buy quite a few each, right? Nobody walks in there and buys a book, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you only buy a book at like the airport. Hey, you know what?
Because you don't want to go back to that place. It's scary. You want to go in there one time.
Congratulations, people. We've taken probably too much time on this game. Let's jump to some of our contributors.
All right.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So we're going a little bit more guerrilla style today. We are doing some basing techniques, things to make your bases look better on outdoor figures. So we're going to cover any kind of blemishes or spots that a model might have by using some mud and dry brush that mud up and putting some leaves and grass and pebbles and things to make it look really nice and professional, or at least game worthy. That's what really matters. Because you can paint right here on Board Game Breakfast. So naturally, what you're going to do, and I've already done it at Haggard, I'll show you on Fang, you're going to try to build up some of this natural stuff. It's pretty chunky, it's pretty thick. You're going to take it straight from the pot on a brush so it looks really thick and nasty. You're just going to kind of build it up around the model. I'll try to move my hand out of the way so you can see a little bit. Move it around the model and just fill in those spots. So like where that hole is, we want to cover that up to where you kind of get a more natural look to it. Now, not every miniature is going to have that hole, but there will be certain features you're trying to hide and trying to adorn. Now, also, this is brick, and we're trying to make this look like forest, so we need to cover up anything that will make this look more like a brick. The other thing, too, is if you have any stiff, sharp peaks, kind of like a meringue, make sure to flatten those down with the finger or the tip of your brush. And I'm going to show you what these look like after it dries. Let it dry for about a couple hours, and we'll come back and dry brush up. Now, normally I might water this down a little bit, but I'm going to use a Mornfang Brown, or you can use something like a Burnt Umber if you're more of a historical miniatures or kind of trained miniatures painter. But I'm going to use this Mornfang Brown. I'm going to put it pretty heavy all over the miniatures basis. It'll look something like this. Think of this as a heavy dry brush. That way you get that undertone under there. So when that dries, I like to do a little bit of a Tallarn sand or something that's a lighter tan color or kind of a lighter sandy color, just something to really accent up those darker colors. And you'll get most of that off. We're going to do an actual traditional dry brush this time. So we're just going to take the miniature and we're just going to kind of, let me see if I can get the focus right here. And I'll just much lightly dry brush this across those cracks. So now you're boosting all of the color, and we'll do this a couple times, and show some texture in this dirt here. So he's not just standing in mud, but it's kind of a sandy mud with a couple different notes and stuff to it. And obviously all mud doesn't just look the same. So we want to kind of give it that nice look of a kind of a sandiness to it if it needs to, or a kind of a grit or bog or whatever it might be standing in. So that's basically it. You're going to spruce up the things you want to spruce up, hide the errors, and accentuate the things you really want to show on a model by using these techniques to base your figures. Now, this is for outdoor figures. We're going to be taking a look at some indoor figures pretty soon, but pretty basic stuff, pretty easy stuff, and this applies all across the board, from this to Gloomhaven to Gotham City Chronicles. Anything you can think of, Imperial Assault, you can find a use for these techniques. So I'm Brian Drake. Enjoy the rest of your breakfast.
What's up, everyone? My name is Melissa McCack, and this is Smashing Buttons and Slamming Cards. This is a segment where I talk about a video game I love and I connect it to a board game I love. And this week, I want to talk about Town of Salem, which is pretty much a digital board game. Sort of. But pretty much what you're doing is you have a certain role that you get at the beginning of the game, and you're going around. If you are part of the mafia, you're trying to take people out. If you're one of the townsfolk, you might have some sort of special ability like the doctor where you could protect people, or the vigilante where you could, you're hyper vigilant and you might be able to get the mafia on your own. Either way, it's super kind of wacky, zany. It's got that social deduction going on, although it's all through messaging and people feverishly typing, saying like, it's not me or whatever. And it's pretty cool. I would like to connect that to One Night Ultimate Werewolf. You could pretty much connect it to several different werewolf versions, but I'm picking One Night Ultimate specifically because it's quick. And just like with Town of Salem, if you get kicked out of the game for whatever reason, you could just go into the next one immediately. One night is really quick, so it goes really snappy. It's over in one night, and it's zany because things could be changed around. Your role might be changed, and you might not even know it, and then everybody's just like arguing and whatnot, and it's very quick, kind of like the video game. So that's my pick for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like, you could check out mine and my brother's podcast called Room 51. I'll catch you next time.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Aaron from the Board Game Brothers, and welcome to another mystery component segment where I show you a picture of a game piece, and it's up to you to try to guess what game that piece comes from. So let's put on our thinking caps, because here is this week's picture. Okay, time's up and thinking caps off. And the answer to this week's question is Quicks. Quicks is a roll and write game where players take turns rolling various colored dice and are attempting to get the most points by marking off various colored rows on their board. Depending on what the dice show, players can mark off a corresponding number and color on their board. All players can mark down the total of the white dice in any row on their board, but the turn player can also mark down a number of the total of one white die and one colored die in the corresponding row. Just be careful, because you can never mark off a number that is anywhere to the left of any already marked space. Players can also lock out a die and row by rolling a 12 or 2, depending on the color, and only if they already have at least 5 numbers marked off in that row. If a player cannot mark off a number during their turn, they must mark a negative box on their board, which is worth -5 points per box at the end of the game. The game ends when either 2 rows are locked out or one player fills in all 4 of their negative boxes. Players then add up all of their rows according to the chart, and the player with the most points wins. With little downtime and up to 5 players, Quicks is a quick game that can be played multiple times in one sitting that everyone is sure to love. And that's this week's game. Congratulations to everybody who got it right, and for everybody else, there's always next week. But until then, I hope you all have a happy breakfast.
All right, everybody, welcome back to 20 Questions. I am going to try to get Tom here to guess the name of the game that I wrote down.
We failed last time.
You did. It was the first time I won. So, as you all know, or maybe you don't, let me give you a quick rundown here. He's going to be asking me questions 20 style, and the only questions he may ask are the ones that you folks put in the comments. So start throwing those up there. He can pick whichever ones he wants to. I have 20 poker chips that I'm going to shuffle up, and for each question he asks, I will pull one of these out. That'll help me keep track of how many he's used. But on top of that, on the other side of half of these is a penalty, which will burn through an extra question possibility, or a bonus, where I'll give him a random letter from the answer by spinning my spinner here. So whenever you are ready, Tom, this is a board game. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up here in 1 second on my screen so I can answer any of your questions.
Maybe I won't turn any over just to annoy you that you never shuffled.
That's all right. That's 20 questions. Honestly, I'd be perfectly happy if you get no letters at all. Pretty sure I can beat you again.
All right. Here we go. Starting. Right. Does it have a solo option?
All right, I'm going to turn down my brightness here considerably, and I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with a big no on that one as far as a solo option.
All right, was it a Kickstarter game, says Paul White. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll turn the chip over first.
Oh, it's a -1.
You know what? You're a bad shuffler. A bad shuffler. Is it a Kickstarter game?
I'm going to keep these up here so you don't think I'm lying here. Kickstarter game? No, it's not a Kickstarter game.
I'll turn the chip over, but I actually do trust you. Give us a letter!
Yeah! All right. Is this making noise? It's not. Why aren't you making noise, little buddy? I need you to make that noise.
I want to hear the clicking of the phone.
Here we go.
Do it. Yes, so satisfying. That's a slow ending there.
The letter is E.
E. That's so helpful. Thank you.
All right, and I have a question for you, Tom, that might get you a bonus letter. The question is as follows. What is the minimum number of players for the Resistance? What is the minimum number of players you need for the Resistance as per the box? The suspense. It's killing me.
I don't know. 4.
Final answer?
Well, yes, but Roy shook his head no, so I'm assuming.
Nope, the minimum is 5.
I almost said 5, and then I thought, would they have done 5? It's 5 to 10, right?
The 10 is correct, yes. Let's keep going.
All right. Okay. Is it a worker placement game, says William Garcia?
Worker placement game. No. I'm looking at the mechanisms. It's not listed. No, this is not really a worker placement game. No.
No, that's fine. That's an interesting question, Wes, but I think I'm not going to ask that one. It's too.
Chip here.
Oh yeah, let's do the chip.
You want to flip it?
Flip it.
You sure?
No, but flip it anyway. Give us another letter, and we're never flipping again.
All right. Here we go. The letter is H. H in hurt. All right.
We know it's not hate because we can see hate on the shelf behind you.
I actually forgot to grab the game. It's in this room, but I don't have it next to me, so.
Maybe it is hate. What's the question? Or is there a question?
I don't know. I'm waiting on you to ask me a question. Go.
No, I'm saying I don't get no follow-up question.
Oh, sure. You want it? If you don't ask for it, I don't give you.
I am asking for it.
All right, here we go, Tom. Days of Wonder has published.
George Washington.
Huh? All right. Days of Wonder has published 2 deduction games. The oldest is Mystery of the Abbey. What's the other one?
Mystery Express.
I
forgot the name of it, though. I knew it was on a train.
All right, very well done. Here we go.
If it's an A or a T, we're guessing hate.
All right. It's not. It's not behind me. I will go get it in a moment, though. The letter is S. S, and as in shut your face.
She-Hulk, the board game. All right. Let's see here. What do we got here?
All right.
James asks, does this game have expansions?
It does not have expansions.
Oh, I wasn't kidding. I'm not flipping a chip for a while here.
All right. Here we go. That was a good call on that one. Think of something. I'm going to get the game.
All righty. I know that's Timothy's thing there. Thank you, Timothy. So far, we've gotten all no questions. I'd like to get a yes question once in a while. So we know it's not solo, not Kickstarter, not worker placement, although he was kind of like, on that. And then no expansions. What about, does it have miniatures, plastic miniatures?
My screen went crazy dark. Does it have miniatures? It does not have minis, no.
That's another no. All righty.
What is going on here? Some of my chips
Matt
got turned over.
Know, is there war in this game? Does it feature war or fighting between players?
Let me get rid of a chip. We are down, by the way, 6 chips at this point, leaving you with 14 chips. War between the players?
War or conflict between players? It's an or question.
Define conflict. I mean,
I would assume that it's a fighting game, like Rada would dislike it type thing.
It does not feature any of that. No, that's a chip call.
Josh says, does the game have trading?
Trading.
Between players?
No, I don't believe so.
No. All right. Matt's wants to know, does it have dice? Could you give me a yes answer once in a while?
Sure, if you ask me the right questions. I don't believe there's dice in this game. No, there are no dice.
William Glasgow says, does it have personal player boards?
Yes, it does have personal player boards.
Yes question.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is your 10th question.
If that's a yes, we'll flip it.
Oh, come on. All right, you have burned through half your questions at this point. 10 are gone.
Strategy. You better not
great. It's really good, unless it's reflection from my glasses. So far, what have you got? You had an E, then you got an H, you got an S. Here we go.
That's the word she, or he's coming round the mountain when he comes. Give me.
Ooh. And the answer is A. A as in Air Force for some reason.
Huh.
All right.
Are you going to give me another letter?
Would you like to answer a
Yeah?
question? Let me see.
Better
I
be
gotta
a
find
hard
a
one.
particularly difficult one.
Yeah, I feel like 5 letters is too much information.
I don't know if you'll get this. Let's try it, all right? Let's try and see if you'll get it. I am actually removing some of the clues that I was going to give. Okay, let's see. Question. This excellent 2-player game is finally getting, in English, an expansion that came out in 2016. What's the game?
Targi. You were like raving about this in the studio.
Shut up! The letter is...
Back when we were together in the studio, not recently.
The letter you're getting is going to be a poisoned letter.
What? Give me the letter. Is it a Y? Is it X? Is it Q?
The letter O.
Oh! Well, that takes
That's
out...
it.
That takes out the word ashes, which is what I had so far. All right.
What do you got?
Okay. Actually, now that I'm looking at the comments, everyone there is also shouting Targi. There's like not even another guess.
Yeah, right. Fine. That's okay. You're going to need the letters, you know.
All right.
You got.
Is it... So, Right Heroics says, that's an interesting name. Is it 2 players or less?
No. Want to
All
flip
right,
it?
I'm not doing any more chips.
All right.
So,
You're down to 9.
Matthew, no, it can't be that. I'm not going to ask that question. Folks, I never ask anything in regards to letters. I know some people ask me like how many words are in the title and stuff. I don't do that because I feel like that's too outside the game type thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm asking this because it's funny. Is there a boring guy on the cover? Says April.
Maybe. Depends on which edition.
Okay.
I believe. Yes, correct. It depends on which edition.
Tufano Alex says, is it co-op?
No.
All right.
You are down to 7 questions.
Yeah, when we're down to 3, I think we're just going to start guessing games because we're farther than we've normally been.
Okay.
I see. That's a long title. Oh, okay. That's interesting. All right. Wei Chang says, is the theme fictional?
No.
Oh. Well, that cancels out a lot of games.
I mean, does that mean like fantastical? Is that what they mean?
Like, well, it's either fictional or realistic. There's 2 categories of games.
I mean, it is fiction, but is it like it could happen? Yeah, it could happen. Is that what
I meant, is it grounded in reality? How's that?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That.
All right, you're down to 6 questions.
James says, does the designer have more than... He wrote this. Does he have more than 3 published games? So 4 or more.
Does the designer have 4 or more published games? I am going to say no.
No. Ooh. All right. Okay, I'll ask this because it's funny. Wes says, has it won a Dice Tower award?
No. I assume. I don't know. What kind of question is that? No, I'm going to go with no.
That's a legitimate question. What do you mean, what kind of question is that?
I was supposed to know everything that won. I don't know that. All right, you're down to 4 questions.
Cora Lou says,
Lou knows everything. Oh.
Has Tom met the designer?
Do you just know at this point? You're just wasting questions?
No, I don't know. I'm asking the questions people asked.
I'm gonna go with no. You probably haven't met the designer, but I honestly don't know everyone you've met. So my best guess is no.
All right.
You definitely know what it is at this point, I guess.
To final, Alex says, "Can does it weigh more than a large chicken?"
I'm gonna go with no. It does not weigh more than a large chicken.
All right, how many do I have left?
Questions.
All right, folks. I'd like to actually start guessing now. I don't know what it is, if that matters. So here's our. I'm gonna repeat. Give me some games. All right. The letters are OASHE. It is not a solo game, not a Kickstarter, not worker placement, or kind of whatever.
What letters did you say?
OASHE.
Right. Yes.
No expansions, no miniatures, no war, no trading, no dice. Has personal player boards. It is not 2 or less players. There is maybe a boring guy on the cover, depending on the theme, on the version. No co-op. It's not fictional theme. The designer does not have 4 or more published games. Actually, I don't remember what that question was. I did not meet the designer, and it is not heavier than a large chicken.
If it got an award, is what that no is.
Yeah. Did it get the Dice Tower? Did it get a Dice Tower award? All right. Someone wrote Oceans. All righty.
What do you got? The group, the crowd is just too smart together is the problem.
Oh, that's
I do wonder if somebody tries to go out there and Google this stuff and see if they can get a correlation hit. I hope nobody's doing that. But
yeah, don't do that. Yeah, someone said Sheriff. It can't be Sheriff because Sheriff has expansions. Also, I don't think anyone would consider the box cover to have a boring guy on any of the versions. That's a good guess there. Well, no one else is asking. Oh, that does have expansions. Okay. Z does not own that game, so it can't be that one.
you don't know.
That's true. I don't know because you do have some games probably that I don't know about.
That's right.
But you might wonder if I had met that designer. Z hates that game, so it can't be Tales of Arabian Nights. Also, I don't think there's any O in Tale of Arabian Nights. There's not.
Tales of the Arabian Nights.
All right, I'm going to ask this one, but I don't know if it has an expansion or not. All right. Hansa Teutonica.
That is incorrect.
All right. All right.
What do you got, Tom? You get down to one more, and usually I give you a final do or die guess. After you've run out of chips, you're down to one chip. So technically, you can guess 2 more things. What do you got? I gave you so much information. I even gave you an extra letter when I thought I was done giving you letters. Come on now.
Okay, it can't be. I'm going to shoot down some people's things here. It can't be Shadows over Camelot because that's co-op. It can't be the others because you said there's a boring person on the box. That would work letter-wise, but I'm trying to think now. Personal player. There's no personal player boards in that. Z would not even touch Through the Ages. Oh yeah. Also, Shadows of Camelot's Katana, and he has way more than 4 games. Of course, if Z starts picking games I've never heard of, that's problematic.
I have not.
Why are people saying, "Come on, Tom"? That's not helpful. You give me a game. Come on, you. Don't come on me.
This is on you folks watching this who are not under pressure. You're the ones that got to pull it out.
It's the player board thing that's throwing me off. Because not a lot of games have player boards. Oh, yeah, and Through the Ages does have battling. That's right. Z would not play Lorenzo Il Magnifico, I don't think. And that's definitely worker placement. So.
Yes, I might have you stumped again, and I don't even feel bad about this one.
I feel bad because I'm not getting the help. I feel like I'm alone here. No, I'm just kidding, people.
Would you like to go off the rails, Tom? Do you have a good idea in your mind?
No, I really don't, actually.
Freely and publicly admit you're bad at this, and I can triumph. If so, I will give you an extra question back.
Ooh, I like that. Wait, hang on. Let me think about that one. No.
Come on,
that's
now.
interesting. No, because he said it's not fictional, so that can't be that one.
If I win twice in a row, I believe I do get your soul.
There's no S. Please carry us for the win. All right. Z, is it a card game?
No.
Okay. We got to guess now, folks.
Here we go. What do you got?
He would not have picked that one because he'd be too worried about me getting one of the letters in it.
Maybe I just gambled, baby. Maybe I just rolled the dice that you wouldn't get that letter.
That works, except for the part where I don't think Z would have that game because it sucks. Why do people keep saying
it's rude?
That's a worker placement game, isn't it? No, it's not a worker placement game. I don't think Z would have it, though. Oh, yeah, that last chip. Flip it.
Oh, it was a 1.
Okay.
I forget. I think it was like a 1 or a -1. It was not a letter. Yeah, sorry. The last two I had were the same.
All righty. Man, I really don't know.
I can taste the triumph.
All right. I'm going to make a guess here. Vegas Showdown.
Which one?
Vegas Showdown.
Vegas Showdown. Oh, you filthy animals!
Yes! Thank you, Mets. Card Stomp. He said it.
Who guessed it?
Mats Kvarnstrom. No, because
coming for you, Matt.
That didn't even cross my mind. But once he said it, and then that worker placement thing that Z said made sense because you're not placing workers, you're placing.
No, you're bidding. It's a bidding game. I gave you a little clue at the end there where I said maybe I gambled.
Oh, I don't know. Did that help? I didn't even.
I know. It was really sly. Anyway, nice. Okay, you pulled it out. Well, with the help of Matt, fine. I will win again someday. All right, folks. Thanks for playing along to that. We got some more segments coming up, and then we'll be out of here. So let's roll those.
We're at Game Masters Guild in Crestview, Florida, and this is Dave and Val Hunt, and they are the owners of this game store, our friendly local game store. What have been the steps you've gone through as when we first heard about this crazy virus thing?
It seemed like about 2.5 weeks ago, heard about it, and everybody's thinking about it, but then probably about a week after that, it really started to impact. You could see people not coming up as much, players thinning out. And then that weekend, like right after that week, just all of a sudden it was like hardly anybody, almost like a ghost town, and especially on Sunday.
It's been really strange not having customers here on a regular basis and seeing everybody's faces every week and seeing those regular players, whether they're board gamers, card gamers, war gamers, or anything. We've definitely figured out that our style of business in the tabletop industry, we are very much a community business, and so it's you rely on that. But on the flip side of that, we do have customers that are wanting to spread the love basically and support the local businesses, and so they are coming in to say, hey, I've been putting off my purchase, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now. Or, I had that pre-order the item that I want to get next month, so I'm going to go ahead and pay for that now.
What can we do? How can we support a business that we can't really patronized right now.
Right.
Well, I like the idea of buying a gift card, calling up if you can, and that business is open to take orders over the phone, calling a gift card, seeing if they won't, mail it out, or like a lot of our customers do, call and put money on their account if that business has that ability to do that.
Yeah, we miss our customers, and so and I know you guys miss
Almost
us
definitely.
too. So.
Hey there everyone, it's Jen, the board game librarian, flipping some pages and pushing some cubes with my segments from the page to the table. I hope you are all staying safe inside, you're able to stay home, you're reading some great books. Comment below what you are reading, I'd love to know, and playing some good games. This week I'm going to talk about a graphic novel that was sent to me by Tapestry Comics. It's by Ryan Cody and Tyler Button, and it's A Flower in a Field of Lions. Joan of Arc is one of my favorite historical figures. She's this strong, powerful, brave, inspirational young woman who defies so many odds in the 1400s. This comic book tells Joan's story through the eyes of her trial, from her as a very young person up and through her untimely end. It's very educational, historically accurate, and it's got some really awesome battle scenes in it as well. So I've paired it this week with, of course, Time of Legends Joan of Arc by Mythic Games, 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and 45 to 60 minutes. It makes this a wonderful game for me, and for the pure fact that it's Joan of Arc. How awesome is that? That they've embraced a strong female historical figure and put her into wargaming and miniature gaming. I love that the battles are very easy to navigate, that the game feels very historically accurate as well, and that there is a lot of detail put into this game. Dynamic artwork, kind of to go along with this as well, and it's, I think, very accessible for many people. That's all this week. Happy breakfast.
Two brothers set loose in a thrift store. This is Thrift Store Throwbacks.
Tom called us out. We were watching a little bit of Dynasty Town and we heard this.
It is a lot of fun. It's run by people that you've seen here on Board Game Breakfast, Dave Lusa, Matthew Jude, put all together along with the brothers Murph, who should do a segment for Board Game Breakfast once in a while.
I'd like to say that we had a right laugh about it, but you know what? We felt the shame. It hurt. Felt the real shame coming in, be called out like that, because you know what, Tom? You're right. It's been too long. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I just want to show you how shameful we've been through a quick montage with no production value added at all.
No, only crappy thrift store games.
So we just want to say that we are back. We have a closet full of thrift store games. We are going to review them all for you.
We're in isolation. We're not stopping.
We're not
We
stopping.
can't go to the thrift store. That's okay. We have stuff.
We stocked up. We have no toilet paper, but we got a lot of that. We're happy to be here to provide hopefully a little bit of silliness for you all. And quick preview on all those games. Most of them are pretty bad. Tom, we love you. Everyone stay safe. Indeed. We will see you next week with some just pile of hot garbage right here from a thrift store for you.
And that's it for another Board Game Breakfast. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back for a live top 10 later on at 2 o'clock in a few hours Eastern Standard Time, where we're talking about our top 10 exceptions to the rule. Something we normally don't like in a game, whether it's a mechanism, a theme, or whatever. But in this particular game, we like it. It's been almost 6 years, I think, since we've done this last, or it's been a while since we've done this list. So come back and join us. I got it right here. Want to see it? Woo, woo, woo. Okay, anyway, I'm a little loopy here. We won, and Z lost. It was a good day all around.
I know, I lost twice, didn't I? I lost both games. I got to sharpen up. All right, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you all later. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I am Z Garcia.
Have fun gaming.